part of it, 11 till about 1 o'clock, and then we have the cultural program after that. We see a lot of people coming in. They are church group that is in full voice, and this is the whole idea of today's main event. It's the National Day of Prayer, and it's about praying for the consolidation of democracy. We're praying for social cohesion. We're praying for national unity. We're praying for a peaceful and successful elections, and that's what the president is concerned about. He's really concerned, we're told, about the destruction of property. That's one of the main focuses of his speech today. And now we're joined by Dr. Bongani Ngalunga. He's the president's spokesperson. Thank you very much again for your time. As I've mentioned, the president really concerned about this destruction of property during protests.
Yeah, he's very concerned. Because it is becoming a dominant trend that when there are protests, people destroy property, they burn schools, they burn buildings at universities, they burn libraries. And the president, as you know, is quite passionate about education. Since he became president in 2009, 795 schools have been built. That is the demonstration of his commitment to education. So he's really concerned. He thinks that this behavior of burning public property is not taking our country forward, but it is taking us back.
Yeah. A day like this, it's all about promoting peaceful coexistence, yes, promoting unity. How does that fit into his speech?
You see, that is the main reason. Remember that this month, May, is Africa Month. So one of the major things that the president will be talking about today is peaceful coexistence between South Africans and our brothers and sisters from the African continent. So that is one of the major issues. But he also thinks that the destruction of property creates tensions in our society. The violence that accompanies protest create tensions in our society. And so that's the reason why today he has called on all South Africans to come here to Absa Stadium, to talk about this, but also to convey a message to every South African that in as much as they may have legitimate concerns, it is not the best way forward to destroy what has already been built for the benefit and development of this country.
Yeah, Doctor, I was just scanning through some of the numbers in terms of service delivery protests, community protests. From the beginning of this year, there's been over 100 protests countrywide. Here in KwaZulu Natal, over 20. Every day it seems like we're getting up to a protest of late.
Yes.
The president, when he's addressing the crowds, what is he going to directly address in terms of these protests?
Yes. What he's going to say is that people have a constitutional right to protest. So there is no doubt about that. But rights are accompanied by responsibilities. And one of the major responsibilities is to preserve the infrastructure that we have. And remember that the government goes to people to listen to them. When the president became president in 2009, he said one of the distinguishing features of his presidency is that this government will be listening to people, going to where they are and listen to their concerns. And if you check, at the national level, for instance, in the last 6 months, ministers and deputy ministers held over 700 events, going to people and listening to them. And that is going to be intensified as part of the Back to Basics local government program. So this is one of the major things that the president is going to be talking about today.
And one of the things is social cohesion. That's what we're praying for.
Yes.
In terms of on the ground, programs that are in place in order to foster greater cohesiveness, I guess, in society. What are they? What programs are in place to create dialogue?
Yeah. Well, there are programs at schools, for instance. Schools, young kids at schools, they are being taught the South African flag, the South African constitution, so that they develop a South African identity. They develop patriotism. So this is one of the main things that the president is going to be talking about today, because there have been recent incidents of racism, and the president is quite concerned about that. So he's going to be calling all South Africans today to identify with other South Africans. To realize that our future, our common future as Africans is dependent on all of us working together. And that's what President Zuma is going to be talking about today. It's one of his main messages.
Identifying with South Africans, but identifying with Africans at large, isn't it?
Identifying with Africans at large also, because there can be no success in South Africa if the rest of the African continent is not successful. So our destiny as South Africa is dependent on the collective destiny of the African continent and its people. And that's the reason why during this Africa Month, the president has called for this National Prayer Day to preach coexistence between South Africans and our brothers and sisters in the African continent.
I'm sure something that the president doesn't want again is a repeat of the tragic events that happened last year with regards to the attacks on foreign nationals.
That is true. And there's a lot of work that has been done since those incidents. If you recall, the president established an interministerial committee on immigration to make sure that the concerns that were raised by South Africans are addressed. I mean, because there are a lot of concerns raised by South Africans, and the president thinks that in as much as he condemns the xenophobic attacks, but the root causes of the violence that took place in South Africa are addressed. And so we think that progress has been made, and we hope that through these interventions, we won't have a repeat of what happened last year.
Doctor, I guess it's a great day to pray today, Sunday. I guess every day is a great day to pray.
It is a great day to pray. I mean, remember, the president is a man of deep faith. I mean, we travel with him all over the world. I mean, and he likes saying, play the music, I mean, while we are flying. But he says, before you play your music, make sure that you play a song, a religious song. I mean, he's a man of deep faith. And as you can see here, people are singing. It's a very festive atmosphere. We think it's going to be a great day today.
Doctor, thank you very much indeed for your time. These are the people of great faith. They come here to pray hard for consolidation of democracy, for social cohesion. That's some of the main focus. And obviously, the other thing is rain. Drought conditions persist in South Africa, so any prayers in that regard will be surely welcome. Stick around to Channel 404. This is where it's happening in terms of the National Day of Prayer. Fervent prayers being offered by the faithful that have gathered here today. So keep it locked to Channel 404 for more. For now, it's back to studio.